go out and support us on those pages. The Promo Wrestling Federation page has, get this, almost 1,300 subscribers. So almost 1,300
Wow.
people. I doubt that. Well, I actually own it now. James Taylor used to own it, but I own it now. And the Pride Wrestling Federation page, I own a portion of, alongside Omen Black and Soldier GP and Tristan Taylor, but we have about 600 there. So I don't know how many we'll get off that, but I do want to get to some comments while everybody's joined in here. And let me start from the very beginning. Zilla has become like just the resident commenter. Zilla just says hi and says hello to everybody. So thank you, Zilla, for tuning in. Zilla is on Instagram. Have you met Andrew Lovelace? I think you did, right? You met him at the Amplified Enterprise show in the you met him there in February, right? Any impressions on him? Did you know that he is like a resident DJ? Did you know that he can, certainly bust it loose and, get on the turntables?
DJ, I had no idea about, but he is one. Excuse my language. He is one hell of a tag team wrestler.
Oh yes, he held their championship there over at Amplified for quite a while, and he's going to mix it up at Summer Bash coming up July 5th to July 7th in beautiful Bremen, Ohio. He's going to be a huge part of that. He's wrestling Nicholas Krentz in a really interesting match. So you didn't know that Andrew was a DJ Dirty White Boy. Boy, interesting. He was on Sportswire a couple of weeks ago, and I was dancing. Well, I really wasn't quite dancing, but I was bobbing my head, and we were playing tunes, and maybe you can get Andrew to play some tunes at the next show coming up that they have over at Amplified Enterprise on June 20th. I don't know if you're going to be there or not, but it's going to be at June 20th at Rocky's Pizza in West Virginia. It's a free show. You can't beat free. And Andrew Lovelace has become one of my guys, also in the Hall of Fame. And Omen Black, the boogeyman of the Midwest, it is his show after all. He would like to say greetings to you. Obviously, we say hello to Omen. Yes. We love Omen, and we love Big Tex, and it is his show. And Andrew did want to ask, how you doing, by the way? Andrew would like to formally say hello.
Andrew, it's good to see you again. I know it's been a while since about February since we've seen each other.
I can't believe it's already 3.5 months since the, Fight for a Cure show. It's already been that long. Time is flying.
Honestly, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. It feels like it's like April to me now.
I know, it's so crazy. It's already, today's June 16th, and I remember yesterday the first interview in 2024 was Jackson Sabre talking about his victory over Ace Christian to end the season, and here we are now, and it's June 16th, and summer's in a few days, and here in New York we're about to get 90+ degrees, so you just never know. When I spoke to you last, it was cold, and now it's very hot. But speaking of people who are very cold towards you, I suppose, would be Mr. Jackson Snow, and of course he is the current World Extreme Champion. He's feeling the repercussions of trying to take on me, which you did kind of bring up. Jacob Ryan is a very smart man, captivating off the damage I did to the big cobweb-filled head of Big Tex. Some very big-headed filled words there. What would you like to say to Jackson Snow there? I tried to make it rhyme.
Just remember, you did train me. You taught me to be tough. You proved that. It took you how many chair shots to take me out there?
A lot.
Exactly my point.
I could show the match to make Jackson feel better, but I think you're in a big bad mood today, so I'm going to certainly not do that. And I'll certainly say that she had a funny one. Who was the guy at ringside with the beanie on? Well, I think I would know who that is, but we're obviously going to say that you can support them. Want to say hello to Mr. Joshua Allen, of course, the owner of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, and he liked to say that you remind him of Ron Bass Jr. That's a good one, Ron Bass Jr. It's a very good one there. Have you heard that one before, or maybe not?
Not really. I've never heard of him before.
Well, if you heard, so you haven't, then that's why now you're hearing about it. Yep, through actually, I think 3 weeks till the actual final day of Summer Bash. So it's 19 days from opening day one, and it's going to be the greatest spectacle, I think, in the history of the Yard and the Underground. And it's 19 days starting and 21 days ending, and that really is Omen's picture. And also, Andrew said he sees it too. And also PWF, yes. PWF is the Pride Wrestling Federation. Mine is the promo one. The promo one is actually not a wrestling company. It's kind of like, it's a promo. It's like WWE 2K, but mixed with like some different things we're going to work on. Stay tuned for more details. And let me get to some more comments. The people want me at Summer Bash. I would love to be at Summer Bash, but unfortunately, my plans of Summer Bash aren't looking too good at the moment. But I would love to certainly promote Summer Bash. And I actually might have an announcement for Summer Bash that you might have to wait for next week on Sportswire Radio. So stay tuned by that. You were out by 2. Yeah, I think you mentioned. Didn't you not mention 10? But I didn't want to remind you of 10 because like I said, I could bring the matchup on the screen, but you'd probably get you want to give me a tech slam if I did. So I didn't want to, bring it up. But
Yeah, that match is something I want to forget about at this point.
Okay, well, you're going to have to figure out more of your current opponent. Let's talk about Cyrus, first of all. He's the global champion. He's obviously a man that is obviously accomplished a lot. He's on a new run since some would say he's found a new attitude. He says it's really the same Cyrus. He's on this new book of Cyrus. Chapters are being written. And talk to me then about your opponent coming up here at Total Domination 9, the It Factor Cyrus, before I put the poster up for the audience.
I find it ironic if everyone actually remembers back at the Thunder Punch before Mary Mayhem.
Yep.
I took him out once.
Yes, you did.
Now, in this most recent Thunder Punch, during the number 1 contenders match, I took him out again. He wants to seem like he's this big, bad person, but yet, when it comes to me, it's almost like he's a scared little kid just holding a title for the fun of it.
Why do you say that, though, especially with a veteran, a man that's had so much success? I mean, I don't know, why would you say that for the audience? I mean, especially for a man that he's done a lot. I mean, he's been around a long time. Interesting.
It's one of those things where you don't see it on the outside, but in the inside, he cowers in fear of me because he knows that I'm the man that can beat him. Sabre has tried. Van Hansen has tried. Multiple people have tried to beat that title.
I think Sabre and Van Hansen have been his biggest challengers the past few months. And obviously, they've fallen short. But doesn't that give him confidence to say if he's beaten them? I mean, you've already fallen short in 2 championship matches. Why not make it 3 for 3?
Because with me, I know I can beat Cyrus. Yes, it may have been Battle Royals, whatever, but it doesn't mean I still can't beat him in a normal match.
So are you saying that because you've already shown you can hit him, that gives you kind of a little bit of confidence going into what's to come at Total Domination 9?
Yes.
How so?
For me, you can hit what thinks is untouchable, then they know they're in for a problem.
I see. So you think basically that he hasn't faced anybody like you, whether it's in this run or just in general. I mean, he's been in there with some great opponents in the past. Scorpion, Judgment. I mean, he's faced some big names, but you feel that now that he hasn't faced anything like you.
I think, yes, he's faced Sabre, who's a big guy like myself, but
I think you're a different style than Sabre. With all due respect,
I am.
Absolutely.
I am. I'm more the rough and tough, will pound you into the ground type of style. That's something he hasn't probably faced in a while. He's used to these more technical style.
Yeah, I was going to say more technical, more versatile, more kind of like they would be wrestling at his maybe type of liking, whereas you're a guy that's pound for pound. I mean, listen, you've gone up against, I think fair to say, 3 of the bigger giants in this sport, obviously, and Jacob Ryan, Jackson Snow, and Mr. Judgment. I mean, you think about that. Think about that for a second. You went up against 3 of the bigger guys around in Judgment, Snow, and Ryan. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive if you ask me. I mean, that's a pretty big, figuratively and literally, thing to say. You went up against 3 guys that doesn't matter anywhere you go. They would mesh well in terms of their size in any place. And you went up and you beat one. You had one guy And the other guy in the middle, it literally took almost the kitchen sink to keep you down and beat you. I mean, that ain't bad. You can look at it from you. But he's going to say that you still haven't won the big one. He's going to say that you're young and inexperienced, and your mates in Chaos Conspiracy hold gold or have held gold, but yet you're the guy that doesn't hold anything. He's going to still say, yeah, but I said months ago about him. All those things. I mean, that's what he's going to still say, and he's going to hold that and hold his hat on that.
But that's all he can hold his hat on. But what happens when I beat him? Can he still say that? But yet he wants to write me as the third chapter of the book. What happens when I beat him? I closed that book completely. That book officially closes for Cyrus.
Officially, huh? Interesting that you use that word. You say that if you beat him coming up at Total Domination 9, that you will have closed not only the chapter, but maybe the book.
I take the book. I take the book of Cyrus. I light the match, and I burn the book of Cyrus to the ground.
Some big words there that you are going to burn the book of Cyrus. You're going to burn the book of Cyrus. Interesting. It's, some very, very big words there. Some extremely big words. And if you really want to follow Big Tex, he's actually on Instagram now officially. So make sure you follow him. Let me get to some comments here. I believe this is Scorpion the Assassin. Taking a moment to stop by and tip my hat to Big Tex. Keep working hard, stay humble, soak up real knowledge. I like how you put the real and like the caps are. That's certainly Justin Parsley would be very happy about that. And your future is in your hands. What do those comments mean to you?
It's now proven that I have respect for a lot of people in this business, and they see that I am working hard and soaking up the knowledge from people that are well more experienced than me.
What does that mean to you, that and how you've gotten respect because of the knowledge that you've acquired and how much you're, using it more or less?
I'm willing to sit there and listen, practice whenever the ring is set up. I'm out there practicing, working on some new stuff, whatever. Like I want to get myself better, and I want to have the help from these people from these wrestlers that have been around the business for a while, like Scorpion, like Judgment, Aaron Jones, Jacob Bryan.
And happy birthday to Aaron Jones today. He's celebrating a birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday, the real boss.
Yes,
man.
real boss. Yes, real boss man.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Hope you enjoy it. And hope that the best is yet to come. Boy, the irony, right? Father's Day and it's your birthday. It doesn't always happen that way, but happy birthday to you.
Yes, happy birthday, Aaron. And you have a lot of respect for me. But a lot of those guys I've listened to, I always get I love to get feedback from a lot of people, and I think that helps me also in the end because I know what to work on, what I can learn from, and what to do in the future in matches.
Absolutely. The only way you can learn is by learning from others. And want to say hello to Steve. I think we know Steve very well. How you doing, Big Tex?
Get her!
Yeah, he's here right there for us. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice where figuratively and literally all wrestling matters. We are here with the number one contender to the DBW Global Championship. His name is Big Tex. He is the Sheriff of Tex Country and DBW. He is also a part of the group Chaos Conspiracy. And if you're on Sportswire Radio, make sure you hit that sub button. But you know what? It's your lucky day, Big Tex, because the it factor has arrived. And you know what? The it factor, I can promise you, by the way, since I know what he said at Apocalypse, I can promise you that the champion's going to be here very soon. He's going to be back on this platform in a matter of days. And he's going to, I'm sure, have his side of the story because I do owe him an appearance. But first of all, let me allow him to say something to you. He says, listen, you big, I can't really say what he said after. Let's just say that you big because we are a family station. You may have become the number one contender for my championship, but you're gonna tower over like a bunch of Jenga blocks. Does anybody still play Jenga? I know you were at Monster Jam last month, but does anybody still play
Yes,
Jenga? You play Jenga. Okay.
I I love Jenga. I love Jenga. It's
Okay.
one of those weird things.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna certainly not hold it against anybody that plays Jenga. But he then says he will then put an exclamation point on chapter 4. What do you say?
So you're gonna make me chapter 4, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You should have just made me chapter 3 at that point, because I would have done the 316, whooped your ass, burn that book straight to the ground like I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm. Mm. So you're basically gonna give him an old can of whoop ass. Is what you're telling me? A total domination 9.
hmm Open up the
Feeling
can of whoop ass. Make
feeling
sure,
confident there.
not just confident, knowing I can beat Cyrus.
Hmm. 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 But let me ask you a question though. What would it mean to you to be the DBW global champion? What would that mean to you?
So for me, the global title is the workhorse title. I consider it like the Intercontinental title,
I was gonna say the same thing. The Intercontinental title pretty much was always the
and
workhorse championship.
to me, you I compare it to look at the past of who's held that title. Like I said, it compares to the Intercontinental title, Mister Perfect,
Bret Hart,
um,
Kurt Angle,
Bret
Chris
Hart.
Jericho,
Yes,
Jeff Jarrett, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Jeff Hardy, Kane was even an Intercontinental Champion. Absolutely, listen, it's a great list of people that have held
it
the
is.
Intercontinental Championship for sure. I mean, how about Gunther's run? Can't go without saying he's got the greatest run of them all. The Miz. I mean, it's a long list of absolutely Dolph Ziggler. It's there's a long list of
Exactly.
people. Absolutely, I agree.
and and that's the same thing that I look as the global championship. These past champions, RJ Carnage, Cyrus,
Yep. Well, Cyrus
um,
is the current champion, and obviously RJ
yeah,
Carnage is well. It's in the blood.
exactly. And then you have people in the past, Blaze, Judgment, all this. Like you have to understand that there's lineage with this global title now, and I appreciate them bringing allowing me to come in, but also I now got to fight for this title and prove that I can work my, excuse my language to everyone on Sportswire, my ass off on for this title.
Almost in a way, like it would be the stepping stone for you.
I would consider it a stepping stone, yes. Would I want a better, would I want the bigger picture title? Would I want the world title? Most definitely. But to start with the global title as my first championship is the work as the workhorse, definitely.
All right, but I kind of think the same along the lines. By the way, if you want to buy some merchandise for Big Tex, that's actually the DBW merchandise store. So if you want to check out some merchandise, you can definitely go check it out. But you know, you are kind of in a way almost haven't won the big one. Everybody talked about Cody Rhodes, how he couldn't win the big one. Lex Luger was famously once upon a time could never win the big one, could never quite win it. I know you're a football fan. The Buffalo Bills lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. Everybody talks about that. When you look back in the lores of sports, the New York Knicks, is once upon a time, could never win in the 1990s. They went to 2 NBA finals, 2 conference finals in a span of 7 years. The Indiana Pacers. You look at there's a laundry list of wrestlers, sports. I mean, a guy I interviewed, Bentley, took him like 7 tries to finally win a world championship. But yet, this is your third basically title match, if I'm not mistaken, in about 6 months. Just about 6 months. And if you don't win this one, could you permanently be labeled not just Big Effing Tex anymore, not just the sheriff of Big Tex country or DBW, but more or less big effing failure. If you lose to Cyrus, are you going to be labeled in DBW as a big effing failure or what? You don't win. You're a big effing failure. I mean, the facts don't lie. It'd be 3 straight championship matches. Find me a wrestler in any promotion. Find me a wrestler anywhere that gets 3 different title shots in 6 months and doesn't win. I mean, you might be right up there with the Buffalo Bills. You might be right up there with the New York Knicks. You might be right up there with Lex Luger, Cody Rhodes, before he finally won at WrestleMania 40. I mean, you got a lot of pressure on you. Are you a big effing failure if you lose to Cyrus?
Maybe I would be, but maybe I wouldn't be.
But how could you not? If you don't win, I mean, the facts speak for themselves, no?
I'm that person who, championship or not, will always have the respect of the fans.
Oh, the fans respect you. I mean, there's no question the fans have certainly an affinity for you because of how far you've come. But if you can't keep getting title shots every other month. You can't keep going out there and getting what's next? The Hub Championship? What are you going to do? Find a tag team partner? What are you going to do? Find a number one? I mean, you can't do that. Your brethren are in Chaos Conspiracy. So it's almost like it's do or die almost. It's almost like, in football, for football fans, Steve Young went to 3 straight NFC championship games in the early 1990s. He goes up against the Dallas Cowboys, and they said Steve Young couldn't get the monkey off his back. He finally gets the monkey off his back and finally wins the big one. He wins his first Super Bowl as a starting quarterback. I mean, we see this, all the time in sports. This could be a make or break moment in your early career.
It could become big. It could become the big Tex failure. I could become whatever people want to call me. However, there is one point to be made here. I have and always will be the underdog no matter what I do.
Oh, the fans believe in you. The fans love you. But,
yes.
I mean, facts are facts. I mean, we can go up and look at wrestlers that haven't won.
Oh, and maybe my time for a championship isn't right now. Maybe I work on getting wins after win after win after win, and then maybe go for another title.
But this is, I would still think, a moment in your young career that I think that Cyrus and Jackson Snow have a valid point in that, like, look, you had a shot against Judgment. Judgment's judgment. I got that. You had Jackson Snow. He was a mentor. You hung in there. I got that. But now you're going up against Cyrus. You got some things you can say over him. You got this win over Jacob Ryan. But, like, if you don't win here, it means 3 straight championship matches for 3 different championships. And if you don't win unfairly or fairly, but more or less unfairly, I'd have to say, in your case, because of your heart, I agree, you would be labeled as a guy that can't win the big one, a guy that's a choke artist, a guy that's a big effing failure. I mean, and I love you. I think, you've come a long way, but that's what, objectively speaking, people are going to see this as if you don't beat Cyrus at Total Domination 9.
I guess it would be true. I guess it would be true that I would become a failure. Yeah, I have tried so many times to win a title.
Yeah,
Judgment.
But that's the whole thing. Judgment, yep.
My mentor Jackson Snow, I came so close and everything there, and now I have Cyrus, and if I don't beat Cyrus, then what do I do?
We just watched the San Francisco 49ers, right? The San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. We're all football fans for the most part. And the San Francisco 49ers came up short yet again. I mean, in the last 5 years, what have they been to? 4 championship games. They've been to 3 Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken. They still haven't won. San Francisco, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 4
Yeah,
championship games. They haven't won. Don't we kind of already label them unfairly as kind of choke artists can't win the big one, despite the fact that, hey, you know what? They got to 4 NFC championship games and got to 2 Super Bowls. I mean, that's a very impressive statistic, but the facts is that they haven't won the big one. The Buffalo Bills. I'm a New York guy. Despite how hard they tried, they got to 4 Super Bowls in a row and didn't win. I mean, there's a long
exactly.
list of teams that don't win.
But even to this day, they still call Buffalo the choke artist because they can't make it out of the championship
And if
rounds.
you don't win here at Total Domination 9, you're going to hear the critics, whether it's fair or not, that Big Tex can't win the big one. And, you've been lucky. You got all these title shots so far, but there's no guarantees you're going to get another title shot. What are you going to do? Team up and find somebody against your own brethren in Chaos Conspiracy, your mentor Graves? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think this is why a lot of people are really questioning what happened. Now, if you win, then obviously huge feather on your cap. You beat Cyrus, absolutely a big deal. You're a champion. You've accomplished it. And people would say, like Cody, he finished his story. All right. Listen, in TBW, the Prophet J Wild could never win the big one. He finally won the greatest backyard underground wrestling show in history, Anniversary 7, defeated Russell Cooper. Now we're living in a dark era. He finally wins the big one. If you go out there and you go beat Cyrus, a legend, a Hall of Famer, yeah, then you know what? We really are living in Big Tex country. You really are the sheriff. So it can conversely go the other way for you.
It could. And I look at it one way. I can look at it 2 ways now. I become the big effing failure of DBW, and I don't get another title shot for who knows how long. Or I prove every doubter wrong, and I take that global title from Cyrus, and now become the workhorse of DBW with that global title.
Absolutely, no question that, look, there's a lot on the line, and you can obviously watch Total Domination 9 right here on the DBW YouTube page. So they are the dominant force in independent wrestling. So join them. I'd like to say hello to Mr. DVG. Obviously, we're missing DVG out there. Big effing, yeah, I like it. Big effing Tex. So that was, good. But I got to ask you a fun question real quickly before I actually go into your brethren and Chaos Conspiracy. How was Monster Jam this year?
Oh, that was a fantastic time. It's been a few years since I actually got to go to that, so I'm actually happy to have gone to go see that. It was a time away from the ring for a little bit, so clear your mind and get to experience some other stuff that you don't get to do all that often.
How was Lincoln Financial there versus WrestleMania?
It's so weird, like you're standing out in the parking lot and you're literally watching it from TV to real life. It's like, wait, I know where that is. I know where that was. I'm like, I was piecing everything together of where the Mania stage was compared to what the field was like.
Wow. That's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, that's my brother was there at WrestleMania. I think the first night he was there, the first, the second night, and it's always one of those you like to say. But Monster Jam, can't go wrong with that. I want to say hello to my very good friends over in the beautiful state of Tennessee and Resurrection Pro Wrestling, a company very similar to DBW, and Joseph Tibbs. Obviously, Joseph is getting ready for his return to the ring. One more run that Mr. Joseph Mortis is going to have. I'm very excited to see what happens there. We're going to have more Resurrection coverage coming up here this week. And also IWA legend coming up, Brian White from IWA Deep South, a true legend in the sport. I'm so excited. That's Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time on all Sportswire radio platforms. So if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you're a deathmatch fan, you're a wrestling fan in general, please join us to speak with Brian White. We're going to have more coverage coming up here Tuesday, we're here with, I believe we have on guys like Blizzard from ALW. Really cool story. They're trying to raise some money to help out with some costs for a championship belt. We're going to talk about that at 11 o'clock Eastern time. And stay tuned. We're going to be live here after Raw with to be announced when it comes to what it'll be. Either we might have Kato. We might have Kato here with Mac 10, or he might be going in a different direction. So, I mean, I think Mac is always here. He's our landlord, but I think Cato we're waiting to confirm on. So stay tuned for all of that. But we are with Big Tex, and if you haven't yet, hit that sub button for DBW, also for us here on Sportswire Radio. But let's talk about your brethren in Chaos Conspiracy. And boy, it has been a good time to be a part of Chaos Conspiracy. And Jacob Cassidy and Robert Pearson had their own struggles last season, but have redeemed themselves despite what Kid Mike and Van Hant did to him a few weeks ago, and kind of setting the stages for their own issues with them and Ego. But they've got the tag team championships, and Corey Graves got maybe one of the biggest wins he's had in a long time, and he's going to be here live to talk about it July 6th on all Sportswire radio platforms. He's going to be here to talk about that. He is the number one contender to that DBW. That's right, DBW, number one contender championship. He has won that championship. And, how you feeling these days with the rest of the boys? And it's a good time to be in Chaos Conspiracy, huh?
This has now proved all the doubters wrong. It's funny. A lot of people wanted to talk so much about why I decided to go with Chaos. Why Chaos and us got together. You see, this is why. Chaos, the new force behind the tag team in DBW. Graves, the veteran of DBW, can teach us the knowledge of what goes on in DBW. And then you have me, the powerhouse of DBW, of Chaos now. Everything has come almost full circle. I need that. Once that global title comes into my hands at TD9, Chaos will finally rule DBW. Chaos will rule supreme.
We were talking about this off the air, that mathematically speaking, should you win a total domination 9 with Cassidy and Pearson holding the tag belts, and then now the new number one contender champion in Graves, you will mathematically have a majority of the championship belts in DBW. Last year, we talked about where does this group go from here? Graves is the weak link. Cassidy and Pearson don't ever seem to win matches. You're the guy that could go on your own. But now, should you win a total domination 9 and beat Cyrus and a major feather in your cap to have that victory, Chaos Conspiracy will have a majority mathematically of the DBW championship belts. That's a pretty impressive feat. I mean, not many groups in any company or any sport anywhere around can say that you would potentially, your group would have a majority of the belts in a promotion like DBW. I mean, when you hear that.
The only group I could think of that would be closely to that many titles would be Divinity for one, and Ego.
But they don't have right now. I mean, Divinity has had in the past, sure. Divinity definitely last season had the tag in the world. They would have mathematically at that time had half the belts. They would have half. They would have had Ego, obviously, last year. You had Havoc with the World Extreme, and they had the tag belt.
Yes.
But now there's a new belt introduced into DBW, and not only did Corey Graves win it, but also in addition to that, you would hold a singles belt, and we know that the tag titles would be in Chaos Conspiracy's hands, and you guys would be the first group in quite a while to have 2 singles belts and the tag titles. That would give you guys a mathematical majority of the championship belts. That's a very impressive feat should you accomplish this at Total Domination 9.
It is, and I want everyone to see what happens at TD9. When I beat Cyrus, Chaos will finally reign supreme like it should. We will become the dominant force behind in DBW. Corey could go for the Hub City. He could go for the world title if he wanted to.
You can go for the world.
I would have
if you wanted to. Yep.
Or the World Extreme. I would have control over the global,
The workhorse
and
title, yeah.
chaos continues to reign over the tag titles. Chaos Conspiracy again would reign over DBW at like an iron fist at that point.
We haven't seen anything like this in a majority of the belts. That's a pretty, just again, a mathematical majority of the championship belts. I mean, you obviously know, and there's been groups in wrestling history that have done it. The Horsemen, D-Generation X has done it. The Hart Foundation did it. I mean, the NWO has done it, certainly. I mean, there's been groups that have done a Bloodline on SmackDown, but to have a majority of the belts in a promotion like DBW and DBW, to have a majority of the championship belts, I mean, that's, a major accomplishment as we're watching where it kind of all unfolds, where Mr. Corey Graves eventually wins the Rumble, and we see, the Divinity, some of Divinity and the Heretics fighting it out here. I mean, we see that, but I mean, again, it's a major.
To say one thing, this match between Caden and Sammy, absolutely brutal.
For sure. Oh, listen,
the fact that these two are tag partners and they'll do this to each other is absolutely insane.
For sure. And we see the poster here, which I wanted to put up for a second. We're about to see the Rumble shortly, but that's the poster, and you see your life flash before your eyes here.
That right there is the point where I've either become the failure or I've become the success that to where chaos reigns over DBW.
You know that you look different now since the last time you took the poster, right?
Yes, I have a lot more hair now, too.
I thought that was kind of funny, by the way. Let's flash the poster up one more time. I don't know why it burst up here. That's what I was looking for. There you go. We'll have it posted up here for a second. But, we see it, and again, great poster, but we'll have to find out. We're going to pull the Rumble back up here on the screen. So we're going to take this off, in the interest of time, go back to the finish of the Rumble, because clearly I have mouse problems. Yesterday's show, I had like the wrong buttons I was pushing because my mouse, unfortunately, is just having a little bit of difficulties right now, and I still have the wrong button. Now I have it popped up here. Thank you for those that are bearing with me, because I see the problem is my mouse. I probably need a new mouse, and we'll certainly, I'm sure, come back to more of Caden and Sammy Nothing, but I want to come back into the Rumble shortly, which is, I should have it right now in front of me. So we're going to see it. Thank you very much for the rest of the show. We'll come back and talk with the rest of the guys, and there we have it there. So you're watching this, and obviously you see Mr. Graves, and obviously it's a big moment we're about to see here in a few minutes.
Yeah. I feel like this is kind of full circle, mainly for not only me, but also for Graves. Because he really was one of the ones that really believed in me.
You think about 6 months ago, you win a Rumble, yep.
Yeah. For me, I win the Rumble before Mary to win my shot against Judgment at Mary Mayhem. And then because he was in the Rumble before I was. And he got eliminated quite early before I got out there. So to see him kind of be there when I'm in there is kind of a stepping stone to where he's shown a lot more toughness. I think that's what helped him. I think being teamed up with me has helped me out a lot. Has helped him, but also me too. Also,
but it confirms what I said months ago, and other people objectively said that he is maybe benefiting from your coattails. Is what you're telling me?
I wouldn't necessarily say he's benefiting. I say it's more of chaos helping chaos at this point.
So you guys are actually helping one another out, is what you're saying?
Yes, I've shown him that there is a lot of toughness that can be shown. He just needs to show it a lot more, and now he's definitely proven that he's shown that toughness, and you'll see it here with with this Rumble.
I mean, there's some big
He's
names. I mean, listen, Kid Mike is an extremely established wrestler in the independents.
yes,
Ace Christian, the Blaze, we know his deal. Scorpion the Assassin's a former world champion many times. Cyrus, the man you're squaring off with, total domination. We see him here. Costelli's out there. We know his record. Jacob Ryan, and we see you out there right now coming in. You both tag team, and we're watching toward. This is basically kind of the quarter ending of the match. Jackson Sabres and another big guy. I mean, Austin's a lot of, Roland Havoc again. Obviously his resume speaks for itself. So the facts are is that, I mean,
yes.
like there's some big guys here, some big main eventers, and some figuratively and literally guys with some really big size in this.
Oh, definitely. But a lot of those big guys, and here come again, shows how much of a cheap artist Cyrus is.
But
Hits me from behind and then blows me.
That's unfortunately any means necessary to win.
But he was already eliminated though, so
he was proving a point because he knew it was coming ahead. Total Domination 9.
I see it how I see it, and Cyrus, you got yours coming to you come TD9. Just fair warning.
Well, you know what? We spoke a lot about that. Listen, I mean, you have a lot on the line writing in it, and he feels that, greatest never dies, and, greatness and greats don't die, and, only way we're going to find out is watching on the Dominant Breakout Wrestling YouTube page. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. We have about 20 or 25 minutes here with Mr. Big Tex. He is the sheriff of DBW in Big Tex country. He'll be squaring off at Total Domination 9. The next DBW live show, he'll be squaring off there for that global championship against Cyrus the It Factor, who's also in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. You can go to the DBW YouTube page to watch the show, also on Facebook for more details. So please support them. They also have a bonfire store if you'd like to buy some merchandise. Big Tex is on Instagram and Facebook now. Big_effin_Tex. And we see now Jackson Snow has arrived. We see it's now getting a little bit bumpy, and you're still standing though. That's your feather in your cap is you're still standing here.
Yeah, I was, I have history. Yes, I have history with Jackson Snow, but at some point, you just gotta kind of say screw it and team up with the man. But here you kind of see comes back to bite me in the butt.
Well, I guess we could blame it that you did get low blowed. That I would say, to be fair, you were low blowed.
Not only that, but I should have taken my eye off the ball
And we see Roland Havoc goes out, obviously. And
yeah. And as you see here, this is
where it gets interesting. I watched it and I was like, here we go. This is where it gets interesting. This is where you start to see it all unfold. And we see Austin and Corey going back and forth. And how about that cannonball there? He hits on Jackson Sabre. And
AJ is an amazing talent. That's
he can go. Yeah, listen. Yep.
I've said in the past that is one person I want to face head on, straight 1-on-1, no matter what.
Well, if you're the global champion, I mean, I'm sure that's a match a lot of people would, pay some money to see. And we see a lot of guys that people would love to pay to see again. Scorpion the Assassin and Brandon Costelli, who rocks hard. Corey's in there kind of biding his time. And, we really are starting to see it all unfold. And look at the Jackson Snow. I mean, this is really like, again, a lot of guys here, Rumble eliminations. I know you talked about it, the Rumble elimination, the Rumble win, but, it all comes down to the one-on-one's a different dynamic. And we see Brandon Costelli's he now went. I mean, he went and wasn't going to go, but I thought he was going to go, and now he goes.
And one of the best things that I've learned about being in a Rumble, kind of stay low to a corner and just kind of watch and kind of just pick your spots.
That's what Corey did. Well, I think that's what Corey did. Corey was able to kind of get a rest and buy himself some time. Smart veteran move, and it gets him right back in the match. I think that's kind of where you see him get a little bit of a second wind in the match. Obviously, you had your low blow from Cyrus that pretty much put you down for the most part, and we saw other guys kind of go out of there. Castelli is a guy always kind of ranks up in there, and Corey uses his ability. He uses his ability to kind of, as a high flyer, give him a little bit of an advantage here. And we see Austin and two similar guys, and we see it just basically all coming down to this. It's all down to this. The final four has turned into the final three, and Jackson Sabre, a guy that obviously does well in these settings, and we're about to see it even go further unfold. And there it goes. And Jackson Sabre, a guy who's, obviously looking to get his win. He's feeling good right now, but Corey Graves just something unleashes in him right now. You're about to see it, and you just see this all kind of every ounce of energy, every ounce of anything that you could think of that he has here in this, and you're going to see it all unfold very shortly. And it's going to give him one of his bigger moments right now, and
Yeah,
DBW for a while.
it. I think it's from. I think it's one of those things where he's been hanging out with me for a long time now, and I
There he
think
goes, and he gets the moment to eliminate a big guy like Jackson Sabre, and he did it. I mean, he wins.
it's one swift movement.
Just
You
amazing moment here. And you all come. How about the three of you guys coming out? What a special moment this is. The three of you guys, Pearson, Cassidy, yourself, all come out, and you could see Corey, take that championship belt. And I know it means so much to him because he's, not had a lot of success of late. And to see this moment here, what a special moment. The four of you embracing as a group. You could see the disappointment in Sabre, but you guys here have a moment, a special moment that shows this maybe could be 2024, the year of chaos conspiracy. 2023 was the year of divinity, but 2024 could very well be a chaos conspiracy like year, and kind of fitting, right? We're dealing with everything in the world right now, presidential elections. We're dealing with obviously inflation and all these different things, the environment, and could be a chaos conspiracy. And there you see it, the way Corey Graves celebrates with that belt. You could just see the emotion that he has in that. And we see
He,
Cassidy smiling, and you guys have been through so much together.
we have, and the last year didn't turn out how we wanted it to. We said, come 2024, we bring everything we have to that ring: emotion, anger, heart, and determination.
Well, there's a lot on the line coming up at Total Domination 9, and Corey Graves, he has a chance to really right a lot of wrongs. I mean, let me ask you a question. I know obviously Corey's going to be here in a couple of weeks, so I'm sure he'll give his side of the story, but is there a championship you'd like to see him go most for?
I think for me, I would want him to avenge not only himself but me in the same judgment.
And he's got history with Judgment. He's going up against him. So you think
But
just
not
go
only
straight?
that, Corey was also ringside for my match with Judgment.
No, I think that there's obviously a lot of history, and life would flash before his eyes to be a world champion. To be a world
I
heavyweight champion means a lot.
It would, and I think that's one of the things that is constantly running through his mind. Like, he also has history with the World Extreme title. He's one of the longer reigning World Extreme title holders.
So it's
Like,
kind of like been there, done that almost.
yeah, and I think for him, I think his best bet would be to go after the world title and avenge the loss to Judgment, because he would be at the more advantage point with that number one contender's title.
And there's unfinished business between you guys with Judgment.
Yes.
And to be a world champion, I mean, not many people in this sport can say they're a world champion, right?
No. Not many people can. Not a lot of people can say they've been world champion and prove it with the belt themselves.
What do you say, if anything, to him about that decision, or you let him make that decision on his own?
I let him make that decision on his own. If he wants to go for a different title, everyone in Chaos backs it. We are not going to sway him to go after one title or the other. He is going. I want him to decide what title is going to be best for him to hold on to.
Do you guys as a group? So you guys as a group don't force one. It's more of a you guys make your own decisions collectively in that standpoint.
Yep, we stand by each other, but we also make our own decisions as well.
And we see it. We see part of it there, and I mean, and it would mean a lot to this group, right? It would certainly cement your status, right, to have the world championship in your group, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it would mean to him if he was the world champion, knowing him?
I think it would mean years of dedication to being in the ring. He's been around for years.
Do you think
And
that he's had a lot of success, right? But
he
if
has.
if I were to say to you, in many ways, he has similarities like you because he still has come up short. So if he wins, in a way, we look at his career and say, you know what? It's complete. Even though I know he's had success, he's done other things, but in DBW to be a world champion, right? That's like cementing his status for his career.
I would say, yeah, it definitely. And he's what a lot of people say he is one of the DBW originals.
He's
He
been around the game a long time. I mean, there's no question he's been at this a long time.
he
You've
has.
talked about that when we've had you here multiple times.
He himself is one of the DBW originals. He's been around for years, and for
He's
him
seen
to
the company
finally
go
get
from,
that monkey,
yeah,
he's
he's seen
seen
the company grow.
exactly, and to finally get that monkey off his back, to finally get that world title for himself, I think would just prove. I think it would just finally cement the legacy that he so rightfully deserves with being the world champion.
We're going to certainly find out, and obviously, as a plug, Mr. Graves, Corey Graves, of course, the number one contender champion holder in DBW, will be here live. It'll be July 6th. I think we're here at about 9 o'clock Eastern time. So if you've got plans, you're still shooting fireworks, you're still at the beach, if you're still at the movies, come on down. 9 o'clock Eastern time. Corey Graves is here live. He is here on all Sportswire radio platforms. And I have some comments after what you said. So let me come back to them for the final points of the show. I like to say hello to Mr. Jack Delta. I guess maybe you should. Do I like Jack when you come back to Sportswire? Do I give you a participation award? Because I remember in school, I used to get those awards. One year, I had perfect attendance one year in school. I think I did get like a participation award. I was one of the people that wound up going to school. Then naturally, I went to college and started joke. I became a quasi Van Wilder. That's why I'm here and you're wrestling and being a big star. But obviously, I might have to give Jack Delta for his fourth appearance on Sportswire, right? Maybe a participation award for Sportswire Radio, perfect attendance on commentary for comments and shows. That might be a good one. But good to see the ROW champion, of course, with the standard bearer right now in the yard in the underground. He'll be in the ring next weekend against JX, which I think will be the greatest backyard underground wrestling match in history. But let me get to, speaking of Mr. Graves, he's here. And he says he owes it to three boys, yourself, Cassidy, and Pearson.
And as rightfully so, because he's the one that guided us through all of last year, through what should have been the heartaches, but also through probably what should have been an easy match and got in over our heads with a certain group. Um,
Mm.
but um, yeah, Graves has always been there for us. I want to consider him like the father figure for us with the
He's
group.
your like, football fan. He's an Indianapolis Colts fan. He's the quarterback.
He
For you
is.
guys, he's your quarterback.
He is. He's he's telling us stuff that we need to know for matches or what we need to do to put ourselves in that position to say here. We're still here no matter what's happening.
And you guys had, you know what? There was a lot of talk before the season about this group and why, and Corey Graves has struggled, but here we are this season, and again, you have a chance at Total Domination 9 to finally have gold. Tag titles are firmly in possession of Cassidy and Pearson.
Yep.
Graves could be a very special moment ahead. I mean, it just shows you that you guys mathematically now have a majority of the championship belts, and I think that's going to be very interesting. But the past is the past now to me. Tex, it was fun putting a dent in Tex country and knowing that the sheriff can't stop the outlaw. On to the next. For me, enjoy the last few days. You have to talk to Depew. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let those guys sort itself out, maybe, right? I want to say let them
I'm
sort
not
it.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole
I knew
anymore.
you were gonna say that. You stole the words right out of my mouth. I think that's why you and I get along so well, because of Total Domination, and I'll take everything away from him. And also, I want to come back to more from Mr. Jackson Snow, and he says here. And if anyone thinks they can get in the way and stop what debut has coming to them, they'll just bring another notch in the handle of the outlaw's gun. I mean, anyone. Yeah, you know what? I'm sure that we'll be talking about that after Total Domination 9 and what's left of Mr. Depew. But, I guess we'll have to say stay tuned and also follow DBW and also Big Text. We put those links up here. Okay, so obviously, let's talk about a couple things here first before closing thoughts. Number one, what would be your final words to Cyrus, the It Factor, ahead of Total Domination 9?
Cyrus, look at me in the eyes. This is now the final warning. The final warning shot is pulled now. Come TD9, I lock the It Factor away in the jail cell for good. I take the global title and have finally earned a rightful place as sheriff of not only Tex Country, not only DBW, but as the global title holder.
What are your goals in 2024?
Goals, put on best matches every show that I go out, improve, and have all the support in the world from the fans behind me.
Well, we're going to certainly find out. And I'm going to ask you one more question because I always like to save one more question. I think we pretty much run the gauntlet. A lot of DBW current events talk. Obviously, we spoke about the group. I think the Robert Pearson haircut has certainly grown on me at this point. It actually looks like a championship charm. Maybe the haircut worked. I don't know, but certainly you guys have gold, and I can't argue about that. And you guys have pretty much made clear what I thought about the haircut, and it seems like, you know what? If it motivated, who knows at this point, but obviously the haircut seems to work. It seems to be growing on people, and he actually doesn't really have short hair, so he still has sort of hair, but it's kind
Yeah.
of like I hate to bring it up, like Chris Benoit used to be famous for the short, long hair. He kind of has like the short, long hair look. It's like he doesn't have short hair like a crew cut, but he doesn't have
No.
long hair like this. It's kind of like short, long hair. Maybe it's work. So you know what? Who am I to judge at this point? If it works, keep it going. You guys have done that. But let me ask you one more question. What do you want to say to anybody out here? Even though I know we've done this many times, we have more DBW coverage ahead, but I'm going to ask you in a different way. What do you want to say to the people here tuned in tonight that, as to why they should check out Total Domination 9 and just DBW in general?
I'll say this right now. Our future for DBW is looking brighter and brighter. We are about to put on the map why we are the dominant force of wrestling. Why we can prove without a shadow of a doubt why people want to come to us to work for DBW. The VTW guys and ourselves put in hard work every single time we get into the ring to put on the show for not only the DBW fans in attendance, but also for everyone that watches online. We do it because we know where we're going in the future. So, for anyone that wants, and I'm sorry for going off here,
No,
Tom,
go for it. We're live.
for anyone that wants to say that all we do is fight our own people, we are about to prove why and what we do to prove why we do what we do.
Well, we'll certainly see. Obviously, we certainly will see if there will be participation from DBW and VTW in places like Summer Bash. We'll obviously see what the future holds with DBW and a lot of live shows coming up and stuff you'll see on the DBW YouTube page. We'll obviously keep an eye on what's ahead with VTW and DBW and obviously, we'll certainly be looking forward to talking about that, I'm sure, in the near and distant future. And we'll see if we'll see DBW participate in things like the Riot in the Ring in the future or in Summer Bash or other things. But until then, obviously, if you'd like to follow DBW and check it out for yourself and check out what DBW has to offer. That's their YouTube page. You can see their most recent Thursday Night Thunder Punch episode where Corey Graves had won the Battle Royal for the number one Contenders Championship, or the Rumble, you might want to call it. And he won that number one Contenders Championship. You can also see Apocalypse, Total Domination. 9 will be there, Total Collision. You'll see a lot of different things ahead. Check them out and find out for yourself. And it's always All Wrestling Matters here on Sportswire Radio. So definitely excited to see what the future holds, and we'll be talking about it on July 6th with Corey Graves, and stay tuned for more coverage there with that. My friend, enjoyed it. Love the back and forth as always. I want to certainly give you the floor now. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? And I pass the baton to you.
I just want to thank, honestly, to me, myself, and to all the DBW community. Uh, this goes behind the scenes to everyone in DBW management. Y'all put on some hard ass work to get all these videos done for everyone to watch on YouTube.
Yeah, editing is
And
hard
we
work.
can't,
I can tell you, editing is not easy. It doesn't matter what side you're on, where you are. Editing these shows, it's a lot of work, man. I know just from doing this. I can imagine it's tenfold for what any of you guys or any company puts out there. The editing is very timely for sure.
and we can't thank you enough for getting these out in a timely manner, no matter what's going on in people's lives, whatever. You guys, the management, you guys are always on top notch of everything that's going on. So I can't thank you guys enough.
This year we have more commentary. We've added, more Thunder Punch shows. We've definitely added. I think lighting looks better this year. I think there's definitely been a lot of subtle improvements you've seen in the program this year. You've seen some music, so a lot of different things I think that have really gone a long way in the improvement of the total, I think, production of the program, which I think helps in a long way. And I think it's very difficult to do that work. There are companies that editing, it's not easy.
No. And for all in DBW, just know to keep an eye on the future, because DBW is about ready to change the world of not only backyard wrestling, but the underground wrestling also.
Absolutely, and almost 4,000 subscribers too. I mean, I don't know if they do you give you an award for like 4,000 subscribers. You guys are a couple of hundred.
I I think I've also heard something that uh we're close. I think to 1 million views also
Yeah, I
on
feel
the
like
channel
900
too.
thousand. Yeah.
I think we're close to 1 million views. I'm like, I I wish there was a trophy for that at that point, but
I think do they give you not? I mean, somebody. I think I know for 1 million subscribers they give you a thing, but I'm just so curious when you hit these thresholds. We had Austin G from ESW Shockwave, and they're at 880, like 8,300. I always wondering, but yeah, definitely. Listen, DBW's got a lot of great things to offer. I think it's got some of the best tag teams around in the entire circuit. There's a lot of great variety of wrestling, a lot of mix of young, old, and new, and old is new, and young is young, and new is just refreshing, fixing, recycling the wheel. And I'm excited to see the future. Some great shows ahead. Go to DBW's page for more details. And obviously, that obviously means a lot to the company to get to 1 million views. And a lot of shows are doing really well this year right now. So let's obviously support those that go out there and putting on, I think, a great product. Like I said, I think DBW's improvement in the video production is going leapfold, even from just last year. And yeah, I agree with you. Editing, just from talking to people, the editing is like, I don't really get in the business of like wins and losses and like who does this, but I know editing. I talk to the guys in different feds about editing. I mean, there are guys, it takes them like 2 weeks to do editing. So editing is just, it's not
yeah,
what you see like on YouTube, like a VBW, for example. It doesn't look like that in real life. To get that out there, it's really like, it's just so, I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, I give all the credit to whoever edits the shows and keep that, between the wheel. But the point is to do
yeah.
the editing. It's just, I mean, obviously, praise to God. But obviously, yep, RCW events. And so the work. Yeah, listen, editing, I speak to guys. I was speaking to one guy. I won't
Yeah,
say his name. He was telling me it took him like 13 hours in one day to do like half the editing, just for one half of a show. So it's like editing is just, it's crazy, it's crazy.
yeah. So what Jackson reiterated there, I helped out a lot with the RCW stuff. So I kind of know firsthand on a lot of the stuff that was
It's hard, man. Editing is just,
a lot of the editing stuff, and it
I speak
was
to guys in one fed that we've said some things about on Sportswire, through the grapevine. They have like 8 guys working on the editing package. That tells you 8. I mean, it's like, okay, well, it just because they put out like so much content. It's like literally, so that's just
that's
unfortunately.
insane.
But we're glad that DBW's done a lot of great things. DBW's always here on Sportswire. We're very excited to have Corey Graves on. We're going to have some more DBW people here in the coming weeks. So looking forward to all of that. Thank you to everybody here. Thank you to you, my friend. I'm looking forward to watching Total Domination 9. And congratulations on the win. We'll see if it pays off. And we'll see what the rest of the guys have to say and more. And until then, happy rest of the Father's Day, and thank you as always. And we'll see what Tex Country brings to offer us very soon on Sportswire Radio.
Oh, I'll always be here in the chat.
I know. You're here. I got your back. Listen, I love you. You're always on my team. I always say it all the time. Big Tex is one of my guys. I'm definitely wanting the size of this man. This guy's definitely a player, and he's improved a lot. He's come a long way, and that's why we're very excited about him coming up. He'll be wrestling at Total Domination 9 on Dominant Breakout Wrestling's YouTube page. He'll be wrestling there for the Global Championship, kind of their workhorse championship, and Cyrus, the It Factor. So we'll certainly see what happens there. Also, stay tuned to many great talents there. You're going to see like some Mr. Judgment wrestling there, Roland Havoc, Brandon Castelli, Jackson Snow. You're going to see the likes of Chaos Conspiracy. You're going to see the likes of Corey Graves. You're going to see Ace Christian. You're going to see Austin James. You're going to see, obviously, the Heritages. You're going to see DJW. A lot of great people here. And yes, I agree. The next generation of Outlaws coming soon. Tex, soon you'll have a little ass kicker taking on Uncle Tex. And congratulations, by the way, to Mr. Snow. He's having a child on the way, I believe. So congratulations on that. I did congratulate on Facebook. I think I did say congratulations.
Yes.
I did congratulations and happy on that. Happy future Father's Day or happy second Father's Day, whatever it might be, depending on how you see it. But I actually will make you laugh, him laugh. I actually wished somebody happy birthday instead of Father's Day, and I went on Facebook. Oh, did I wish you happy birthday? And he was like, Yeah, but he's like, I knew what you meant. And I just said, well, I'm wishing you happy birthday anyway. So for you, Mr. Snow, Mr. Champion, a happy Father's Day regardless. And he did. He loved it. Yeah, I try to give everybody a happy birthday or happy Father's Day. I think you're going to be a great father. I wouldn't want to mess with your next generation of outlaws. They'll probably kick my butt and everybody else's. And I'm looking forward to that as well. So congratulations. God bless you and your beautiful family. I look forward to seeing you out there in the ring soon, continuing to defend your World Extreme Championship. But if you are on SportsWireRadio.org, you're going back to your regular scheduled programming. I'll be here Tuesday night, 11 o'clock Eastern Time with Blizzard from ALW in Marion, Ohio. Beautiful Marion, Ohio. So stay tuned for more details with that. And also big text, big_FN_text on Instagram. Check them out on Facebook as well. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Thank you so much for all of you tuning in here throughout the weekend. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you, Jackson Stone, everybody else out there. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, the levelration that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And also thank you to everybody on the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page and the Pride Wrestling Federation YouTube page. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see everybody later.